Book 3, Chapter 10, Part 1 of Armadale. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Magdalena Cook. Armadale by Wilkie Collins. Chapter 10, Part 1. Miss Gwilt's Diary. July 21st, Monday night, 11 o'clock. Midwinter has just left me. We parted by my desire at the path out of the coppice. He is going his way to the hotel, and I am going to mine to my lodgings. I have managed to avoid making another appointment with him by arranging to write to him tomorrow morning. This gives me the night's interval to compose myself, and to coax my mind back, if I can, to my own affairs. Will the night pass, and the morning find me still thinking of the letter that came to him from his father's deathbed, of the night he watched through on the wrecked ship, and more than all, of the first breathless moment when he told me his real name? Would it help me to shake off these impressions, I wonder, if I made the effort of writing them down? There would be no danger, in that case, of my forgetting anything important. And perhaps, after all, it may be the fear of forgetting something which I ought to remember, that keeps this story of Midwinter's weighing as it does on my mind. At any rate, the experiment is worth trying. In my present situation, I must be free to think of other things, or I shall never find my way through all the difficulties at Thorpe Ambrose that are still to come. Let me think. What haunts me, to begin with? The names haunt me. I keep saying and saying to myself, both alike, Christian name and surname both alike. A light-haired Allan Armadale, whom I have long since known of, and who is the son of my old mistress. A dark-haired Allan Armadale, whom I only know of now, and who is only known to others under the name of Ozias Midwinter. Stranger still, it is not relationship, it is not chance, that has made them namesakes. The father of the light Armadale was the man who was born to the family name, and who lost the family inheritance. The father of the dark Armadale was the man who took the name on condition of getting the inheritance, and who got it. So there are two of them. I can't help thinking of it. Both unmarried. The light-haired Armadale, who offers to the woman who can secure him 8,000 a year while he lives, who leaves her 1,200 a year when he dies, who must and shall marry me for those two golden reasons, and whom I hate and loathe as I never hated and loathed a man yet. And the dark-haired Armadale, who has a poor little income, which might perhaps pay his wife's milliner, if his wife was careful, who has just left me, persuaded that I mean to marry him, and whom I might have loved once, before I was the woman I am now. And Allan the Fair doesn't know he has a namesake, and Allan the Dark has kept the secret from everybody but the Somersetshire clergyman, whose discretion he can depend on, and myself. And there are two Allan Armadales. Two Allan Armadales. Two Allan Armadales. There, 3 is a lucky number. Haunt me again after that, if you can. What next? The murder in the timber ship. No, the murder is a good reason why the dark Armadale, whose father committed it, should keep his secret from the fair Armadale, whose father was killed. But it doesn't concern me. I remember there was a suspicion in Madeira at the time of something wrong. Was it wrong? Was the man who had been tricked out of his wife to blame for shutting the cabin door, and leaving the man who had tricked him to drown in the wreck? Yes, the woman wasn't worth it. What am I sure of that really concerns myself? I am sure of one very important thing. I am sure that Midwinter, I must call him by his ugly false name, or I may confuse the two Armadales before I have done. I am sure that Midwinter is perfectly ignorant that I and the little imp of 12 years old, who waited on Mrs. Armadale in Madeira, and copied the letters that were supposed to arrive from the West Indies, are one and the same. There are not many girls of 12 who could have imitated a man's handwriting, and held their tongues about it afterward, as I did. But that doesn't matter now. What does matter is that Midwinter's belief in the dream is Midwinter's only reason for trying to connect with me and Allan Armadale, by associating me with Allan Armadale's father and mother. I asked him if he actually thought me old enough to have known either of them, and he said no, poor fellow, in the most innocent, bewildered way. Would he say no if he saw me now? Shall I turn to the glass and see if I look my 35 years, or shall I go on writing? I will go on writing. There is one thing more that haunts me almost as obstinately as the names. I wonder whether I am right in relying on Midwinter's superstition, as I do, to help me in keeping him at arm's length. After having let the excitement of the moment hurry me into saying more than I need have said, he is certain to press me, he is certain to come back, with a man's hateful selfishness and impatience in such things, to question of marrying me. Will the dream help me check him? After alternately believing and disbelieving in it, he has got, by his own confession, to believing in it again. Can I say I believe in it too? I have better reasons for doing so than he knows of. I am not the only person who helped Mrs. Armadale's marriage by helping her to impose on her own father. I am the woman who tried to drown herself, the woman who started the series of accidents which put young Armadale in possession of his fortune, the woman who has come Thorpe Ambrose to marry him for his fortune. Now he has got it. And more extraordinary still, the woman who stood in the Shadow's place at the pool. These may be coincidences, but they are strange coincidences. I declare I begin to fancy that I believe in the dream too. Suppose I say to him, I think as you think. I say what you said in your letter to me. Let us part before the harm is done. Leave me before the third vision of the dream comes true. Leave me, and put the mountains and the seas between you and the man who bears your name. Suppose on the other side that his love for me makes him reckless of everything else. Suppose he says those desperate words again which I understand now. What is to be, will be. What have I to do with it? And what is she? Suppose... I won't write any more. I hate writing. It doesn't relieve me. It makes me worse. I'm further from being able to think of all that I must think of, than I was when I sat down. It is past midnight. Tomorrow has come already, and here I am as helpless as the stupidest woman living. Bed is the only fit place for me. Bed! If it was 10 years since, instead of today, and if I had married Midwinter for love, I might be going to bed now with nothing heavier on my mind than a visit on tiptoe to the nursery, and a last look at night to see if my children were sleeping quietly in their cribs. I wonder whether I should have loved my children if I had ever had any. Perhaps. Yes, perhaps. No, it doesn't matter. Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock. Who was the man who invented laudanum? I thank him from the bottom of my heart, whoever he is. If all the miserable wretches in pain of body and mind, whose comforter he has been, could meet together to sing his praises, what a chorus it would be! I have had 6 delicious hours of oblivion. I have woke up with my mind composed. I have written a perfect little letter to Midwinter. I have drunk my nice cup of tea, with a real relish of it. I have dawdled over my morning toilet with an exquisite sense of relief. And all through the modest little bottle of drops which I see on my bedroom chimney-piece at this moment. Drops, you are a darling. If I love nothing else, I love you. My letter to Midwinter has been sent through the post, and I have told him to reply to me in the same manner. I feel no anxiety about his answer. He can only answer in one way. I have asked for a little time to consider, because my family circumstances require some consideration, in his interests as well as in mine. I have engaged to tell him what those circumstances are. What shall I say, I wonder, when we meet next? And I have requested him in the meantime to keep all that has passed between us a secret for the present. As to what he is to do himself in the interval, while I am supposed to be considering, I have left it to his own discretion, merely reminding him that his attempting to see me again, while our positions towards each other cannot be openly avowed, might injure my reputation. I have offered to write to him if he wishes it, and I have ended by promising to make the interval of our necessary separation as short as I can. This sort of plain, unaffected letter, which I might have written to him last night, if his story had not been running in my head as it did, has one defect, I know. It certainly keeps him out of the way, while I am casting my net, and catching my goldfish at the great house for the second time, but it also leaves an awkward day of reckoning to come with Midwinter if I succeed. How am I to manage him? What am I to do? I ought to face those 2 questions as boldly as usual, but somehow my courage seems to fail.